Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my drunken idiot brother, Alex.
No.
How are you?
You know, I wonder how many... We have to go back 35 episodes in.
Right?
We have to go back to see how many times you've worn that blue shirt and I've worn this white shirt.
I've only got like 4 designated podcast t-shirts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have many either. I'm the white t-shirt guy. I'm the sweatpants, white t-shirt guy.
No, but you wear some other cool, like the Drunken Grown-Ups one I like.
Yeah, that's true.
You got some funny ones. I just wear plain Jane stuff. I mean...
But this combination here...
This is like the only color t-shirt I have. Well, I got another blue one. But most of my t-shirts are gray.
But this combination here, I think we've done it at least 3 times. I'm willing to bet.
1 out of every 12? That sounds about right.
That's not bad, huh?
That sounds about right. So, I'm glad we didn't do the podcast yesterday.
Why is that?
Because you were drunk and I was pissed.
I was not drunk.
You were tipsy.
I was tipsy.
I was pissed.
That was my exact tweet. I was tipsy. Why were you pissed?
I wasn't pissed. I was just... So, obviously, for people that watch this on YouTube... You know, I got trimmed up, right? I got rid of the beard. I got
you sure did.
I trimmed everything up. Well,
or it ran away.
The beard, obviously, I did myself. The haircut, I did not. But have you ever gone to go get a haircut and you tell the woman what you want and she starts and asks you, "Is this okay?" and then you say yes, and then she does a little more and she goes, "Is this okay?" And now, like, after the 3rd time she asked me that, I'm like, I can't let this chick touch the top of my hair or it's going to get really fucked up. Like, the bottom parts where it's just running the clippers over it, right? I mean, you can't... How can you screw that up, right? The top part's the hard part.
I mean, the fact that she said, "Is that okay?"
3 times.
Yeah, but the first time... See, that's why you got to go like this. You can't mess this up. It's just,
I thought about it. I came real close to just taking the clippers myself and going with that cut, but then I thought...
It's easy, man.
I'm going to look like you.
Well, no, because I'm the one wearing the hat.
Yeah, but then I'm going to look like you, and that's just not a good look.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. But for the record, I was a little tipsy. I didn't want to take the drive. I got home and I like to nap after I have a couple beverages, and that's exactly what I did.
I wish we'd have done it. I wish.
I don't think I had the energy to like actually drive over here.
No, and I wouldn't want you driving. I should have packed up everything and gone to your house and done it. That would have been freaking hilarious.
Yes, I would have been laughed at probably.
Yeah, well, whatever. Well, one day, inevitably, we're going to do this half in the bag.
Yeah, we should. Why not?
But it can't be both of us.
I think that would make it even better.
Yeah, but it would make it incoherent for the people listening.
It's okay. It's okay, man.
If you have one drunken idiot, it's okay because then the other person can kind of translate.
Yeah, but we need views right now, and I think the both of us drunk would get it. Maybe. So I'm assuming you went out yesterday to watch a little NFL since it was not opening day of the NFL season because obviously there was a Thursday night game, but yesterday was the full slate almost full slate of games to kick off the season. What are your initial thoughts? Well, first I'm going to say that going to a bar to watch a game is great and all, but there are so many TVs and so many games going on that you're bound to miss something.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, you're going to miss something. So I'm thinking about just staying home next time and just watching one game.
But either way works for me because I can focus on one game, but I like having multiple TVs in front of me.
Yeah, it is nice.
It's a lot of fun.
I mean, look, you got to talk about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he saved the best for last night.
Yeah, he sure did.
I mean, holy cow, what a performance. What a performance. I mean, Aaron Rodgers made a statement, and how many other athletes can say this? He made a statement last night for MVP already.
Yeah, that's true.
Down 20-0.
That's very true. And, you know, before the season started, I told you, and I said this in the preview podcast last week, podcast 35, the NFL preview show,
I expect a big year from Aaron Rodgers. He's coming back off of a mediocre season. He started off well last year. He got hurt, missed about 7 or 8 games, came back, wasn't quite himself. They shut him down early. Not your typical Aaron Rodgers year. He had to hear about Carson Wentz and Jared Goff and in the NFC, and of course, obviously, always hearing about Brady and Roethlisberger on the other side, and Kirk Cousins and all this other stuff. I think he's got it, and he is, I think, by nature, the kind of guy that walks around not with a chip, but with an entire brick on his shoulder. And so
he's cocky. He's pretty cocky.
Well, I don't even think it's cocky. I think he's just irritated. He strikes me as the kind of guy that's irritated. It's never enough for him. I get the feeling that no amount of praise is enough for him. All he hears is the praise that so-and-so gets, or the one negative comment that he gets. Hey, whatever motivates him, right? Whatever drives you. But I fully expected him to come this year with that I'm going to redeem myself attitude, and that's why I picked the Packers pretty high in my rankings, because I think he's going to lead that team. And losing Jordy Nelson is a big deal, but I still expect him to make those other receivers really good. And look, Randall Cobb is still really good. There's still a lot of good players around him. I expect more of last night from him, except for the part where he goes into the locker room
and comes back.
What a good game! And look, for Chicago fans, there's a lot of hope there. Khalil Mack, as advertised, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which
he kind of put the hit on Rodgers, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I think someone else actually fell on his leg,
okay.
but yeah, he's the one that got a hold of him. And you know what? On that Randall Cobb touchdown, if he has a full training camp, does he have? He might have the gas to go get him.
He catches him
and take him down at the 5.
He was the last guy.
Yeah, I mean,
right there.
So and look, Chicago played well. They stalled in the second half. They didn't make the adjustments to counter Green Bay, but there's a lot of hope. Trubisky played well. I think Chicago's a little bit better than I thought. After one game, of course.
I don't know what Trubisky did at North Carolina as far as running, but he ran like 7 times for 35 yards. I mean, that's... I wouldn't expect that out of Trubisky. I mean, there's very few quarterbacks that would take off and run that many times.
Yeah. But granted, it was by necessity, but still.
Yeah.
He was able to get away.
I mean, the Bears got a good squad, but... Well, not a good squad, but there's a lot of potential there. I'm not sold on the Packers just because I don't think their offensive line is that good. Their running game is not all that great, and
But they have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's fine, but in football, it's not the same as in basketball where you got LeBron James.
Right. No, I agree
Football's
with that.
a little different when especially. I mean, their defense doesn't come off as that great either.
No, but they don't look terrible in any facet of the game.
No,
Their secondary is decent. Their run defense is decent. I think the offensive line is a little bit better than you give it credit for. And the running game with Aaron Rodgers opening it up through the passing game, it helps the running game. So maybe that's why I'm a little bit higher on them. And the other team, it's funny, after 1 week, you look at the games yesterday and you think, oh yeah, I was dead right on that one. And then you think, oh my God, I can't believe I picked that team to go far. Or I can't believe I picked that team to go 0-12, 0-16.
Well, the Monday after week 1.
Right?
It is the most overreactive day in the world of sports.
Okay, so let's be overreactive. I'm going to be overreactive.
Okay.
The Saints are fucking horrible. Not only did they give up 48 points,
holy cow,
but they gave up 48 points to a team that I think is crap in the Buccaneers, which brings me to overreaction number 2. Holy shit, the Buccaneers are good.
Well said. Holy cow, I didn't expect that. Who the hell expected that?
Look, I knew New Orleans was going to win by offense, but I didn't think they'd give up 48
at home
to I'm not going to overreact on the Buccaneers. I still don't think that's a good football team.
I'm not going to overreact on the Saints because I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. And there goes
the curse.
There goes the curse for the boot.
There's New Orleans fans everywhere going, oh no, that's right. That idiot on the Positive Sports Podcast picked us.
Well, either way, Buccaneers fans, Saints fans, don't overreact. Bucks, you still suck. Saints, you still got a good chance.
am not. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to overreact on the Bucks. I still don't think they're good. I am going to overreact on the Saints. It is worrisome.
That's one game.
Yeah, you're right. But look, we could do the same overreaction with the Steelers and Browns. The difference is, the Steelers had some stuff going on. The Browns are young and they're gung ho to go. You know what I mean? New Orleans, it's a different situation. New Orleans didn't have any drama, didn't have any problems, didn't have any injuries. They had their squad running on all cylinders. Tampa Bay looked a mess and continues to look a mess, but for yesterday, and then we got that. So it's shocking from both sides. I still have no faith in the Buccaneers simply because I don't trust Fitzpatrick. And look, Fitzpatrick is a 2 or 3 game fix until Winston comes back, right. And I don't trust Winston anymore. But the Saints, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that secondary got beat badly. They gave up 100 plus yards to Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans.
Yeah,
they got eaten up pretty bad.
And to a quarterback that's not good. I mean, Fitzpatrick can't hold on a job anywhere.
It's Fitzmagic. He made it happen.
I heard that. I heard people using that yesterday. I thought that was kind of funny. But, that's wow.
So speaking of overreacting, are we going to overreact that Le'Veon Bell was not playing yesterday for the Steelers?
A little bit.
Because his replacement or his backup.
Right.
I don't even know. I think he's the starter. James Conner.
Yeah, until Le'Veon Bell decides to show up.
He had a pretty good game.
And a fresh haircut.
Which I want to know the name of that haircut. Because
that is the best
I want to make sure I never get it.
That's the best haircut. Speaking of haircuts.
Why don't you go to your barber and have her...
No, she will... no, I can't imagine how long. Look, my haircut yesterday, the one thing I didn't do, the part that frustrated me, I sat in that chair for an hour.
Wow.
It took forever. Partially because she was super... God bless her. She was super careful. And it turned out okay, but... Oh, my God.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen James Conner's haircut, go check it out because it's like 2 fades and like a bush in the back.
I can't even describe it.
I don't know what that is.
Back to the Steelers. The distractions of Le'Veon Bell is what produced that. Right? Because the team...
You think so?
Absolutely, I think so. Absolutely, I think so. Look, in the NFL, distractions kill. It just takes too many people. It's too complicated. It's too technical to have the distractions of having to talk about Le'Veon Bell. Is he coming? Do we game plan with him? Do we game plan without him? What if he comes? Can this Connor kid do it? Who are we blocking for? It is difficult. Those distractions are a problem. And I think that's what you saw with the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers, they wanted to lose that game. It was, how many turnovers did they have? They gifted that game to the Browns. They outgained them in yardage. 6 turnovers, was it? 5 or 6 turnovers?
I don't know how many turnovers they had.
That's the sign of a distracted team to me.
I think that's playing the result a little bit. Obviously the offensive linemen have moved on. They've expressed how they feel, and apparently it doesn't matter who's back there. They're blocking, and they blocked for Connor, who racked up 130-something yards. So, and I don't think we're getting enough credit to the Browns because the Browns have a decent team. And it's a division game. You got to expect this. The weather was bad. The field wasn't all that pretty. It's a division game. First week of the season.
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit about the Browns. You get 6 turnovers and you can't win a game.
Okay. Again.
You're not good.
Again, the elements played part of the game. So. What?
The Browns have to be so happy. Yay, we didn't lose. Did you win? No, but we didn't lose.
You know how pissed off the fans are? Because they would have had free beer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We were so close.
They were just a field goal away.
If they go 0-15-1, they're going to rue this game. Let's see. What other overreactions do we have from week 1? Philadelphia and Atlanta. Good game. Man, Atlanta.
Good game? That was a pretty ugly game.
Yeah, you're right.
Atlanta's got to figure out the red zone, right?
The result was ugly too.
Atlanta has to figure out the red zone. I mean, you can't get into they're kind of like the Steelers, right? They gifted away points. They couldn't do anything in the red zone. I was surprised.
I don't understand. You redo Julio Jones's contract, and you don't have him out there on a red zone play on fourth down.
Yeah,
and you decide. I mean, he's your best player. Don't you at least put him on the field as a decoy?
Right. No, absolutely.
Absolutely. Then in that case, Philly doesn't play the run on that.
I don't. Play. Yeah, I don't. Atlanta has play calling issues. I think. Look, Philadelphia played a good game defensively. They're all happy that they did another Philly or Philly special, whatever they're calling
Philly
it.
Part 2.
Yeah, if they do one trick play a week.
Oh, man.
It doesn't matter if they go 4-12. The fans are gonna. I mean, they just think that's the best thing ever.
Philly Part 3 next week, right?
I mean, they're so excited. I can't. And they played on Thursday, which means they have a few extra days of rest to come up with another trick play.
I'm just happy that they got to raise their banner and the fans had to jet out and go into the concourse and they had to wait a long time and they were there to probably like midnight. That's great. Good for them.
It happens. What are you gonna do? What other games of note yesterday?
That's pretty much it.
Now, I will give you credit. You've been touting the Bengals.
Yeah. Yeah, they have.
And they did not get the kiss of death yesterday.
They did not.
They didn't start off 0-1.
They survived.
They survived and won their game against Indianapolis. The talking point out of that game was the ejection for the Bengals player that absolutely plastered. I was surprised Luck got up.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a hit.
He took a really good hit to the head, and man, the ref wasted no time.
Yeah,
threw him out the game.
Well, but that one was good. There were a couple though that were terrible. And look, I understand
that should have been players thrown out,
the quarterback hits.
Oh, okay.
Right. I understand that we have to protect the quarterback. In fact, I'm in favor of it because I don't want to watch games with
Brett Hundley,
right? Look, the product is simply not as good when Brett Hundley is running the Packers offense as opposed to when Aaron Rodgers is.
No.
At 20-0, if Aaron Rodgers is on the field and drives them down the field to a touchdown, I think it's a ball game. If Brett Hundley does it, I think, great, they're going to lose 20-7. So obviously it's better to have these quarterbacks on the field. But, I mean, some of these players, I almost think that they should put flags on the quarterbacks. If you don't want if you don't want the quarterbacks to get hurt, then put flags on them. Because throwing a flag and giving the team a first down I don't understand. You can't land on top of a quarterback. How are you supposed to tackle the guy? Are you supposed to run up to him, hug him, and count 1 Mississippi and call that a sack? I mean, I don't understand. Like, how? What do you do? I mean, are you supposed to just push him? I mean, what are these defensive players supposed to do? What are they teaching them now?
You just get real close to him and you whisper in the quarterback's ear, "Hey, go down gently.
Could you please go down for me?" Oh, that sounded bad. I mean, I just don't understand what. I mean, there was another one in the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game. I mean, what was Myles Garrett supposed to do? How is he supposed to take the guy down? Especially a quarterback like
what the heck?
I don't know what that was. My phone.
You listening to a game?
I did have the NFL thing open, and it was the Jets-Lions game.
Oh.
Which Sam Darnold, touchdown pass on his first pass ever.
First
career pass, touchtown. Now the unfortunate thing is that it was to the Lions.
The Lions picked off Sam Darnold first pass of his career.
What is going on?
Do you want to broadcast that game?
It just keeps going off. My phone has been. I need to just
throw it out.
Open
the door.
My phone's been acting funny all week.
Time for a new phone.
Yeah, it's time for a new. I do.
Ed has like the iPhone 3. I'm wondering when.
Mine doesn't have a number on it.
When does the upgrade come?
It's just the iPhone.
I mean,
I'm due for an upgrade, I think.
You think? You think? I mean, like 10 upgrades.
I like it though.
We're gonna have flying cars before Ed gets a new iPhone.
I don't like changing phones, man. Every time I do
Why?
something,
You get the same number.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's bigger.
It's bigger now?
Yeah, the phones. See how far behind this guy is? Yes, they're bigger. They look like freaking laptops. Look at it.
Whatever.
Jeez.
Mine doesn't. Mine looks like a phone.
A small phone.
At least it doesn't have that little flip top.
Might as well. Are you sure? Let's inspect it.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Off the rails?
I don't know. Andrew Luck got hit and quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, the rule.
I mean, the landing on the quarterback rule, that's a pretty dumb rule. I mean, I just don't understand how they scientifically expect the defenders to...
Right, a defender's charging up the field at a stationary, a more or less stationary target. If he hits him, what's he supposed to do? Hit him and then somehow contort his body off to the side?
I'm convinced Madden is the way to go. You play Madden and that's how you settle the NFL seasons.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. What are the things that I know from yesterday?
I mean, that's pretty much it. The Chiefs put up 38 on the Chargers. Everybody was high on the Chargers.
Yeah, not anymore. And and everyone was kind of, well, not everyone. I was wishy-washy on the Chiefs because of Mahomes. I did have the Chiefs winning that division, and Mahomes looked like the real deal.
Yeah,
like I said,
you got a guy named Tyreek Hill who
explains why they got rid of Alex Smith.
I guess, but all the quarterbacks won yesterday that went to new teams or like look, Patrick Mahomes, Case Keenum.
Patrick Mahomes didn't go to a new team.
Well, no, but I mean,
quarterback.
But he's taking over.
Right. Okay.
The Broncos with Keenum and Alex Smith with the Redskins.
There's
Kirk Cousins with the Vikings.
Now there's a team that looks, overreaction Monday. They look as good as advertised.
Yes.
There's no overreaction there. They look tough.
And next week, you know who they play, right?
The Packers.
Oh man,
I can't wait to see that.
Does Aaron Rodgers play?
He said he was in a lot of pain last night. I guess it depends on how he woke up today and how he gets treatment during the week.
I don't want to go back to Aaron Rodgers, but I'm going to go back to Aaron Rodgers. Is that the greatest game performance from like an injury or sickness or something like that? I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch Willis Reed. But I watched Paul Pierce come back in the finals. I watched Jordan the flu game. Is that like...
I don't know. That
the magnitude of the game is just the first game.
And, I don't like to get into these greatest conversations because inevitably we're skewed towards the more recent, right? We remember the details of last night's game far better than the Michael Jordan flu game or the Willis Reed game or the Paul Pierce game because those are further back. I'm sure there's other games in between or whatever. So, it was great, and that's good enough for me. That's enough. I'm good with just saying that.
I don't know. I think, yeah, I guess.
The Cowboys looked terrible.
Yeah,
their offense looked...
They're going to be terrible. I told you they're going to be terrible.
Overreact. But I disagree. I still think they're going to be better than they were yesterday.
You are underreacting right now. You are doing the opposite.
I'm not... Yeah, I'm being rational with the Cowboys, whereas I'm not with the Saints, right?
No.
But with the Cowboys... They're not going to put up 8 points a game. They're going to be better than that. Their defense played well yesterday. I think they're going to be okay.
They suck, bro. Jason Garrett.
He gets if they don't go 9-7, he gets fired. This year, right?
No, probably not. And he's Jerry Jones' bestie. They're BFFs.
Really?
I mean, he hasn't gotten fired yet. Are you surprised that you're not surprised?
No, but at some point he's going to fire him, right? I mean, at some point you got to fire the guy.
Yeah, I guess.
He fired Jimmy.
They got nobody.
He fired Jimmy freaking Johnson for crying out loud. He'll fire anyone.
They have nothing, bro. Who's their wide receivers? Des Bryant? Oh no, he's gone. Jason Wayne? Oh no,
Who are gone. Tom Brady's wide receivers?
Nah, you can't compare. Don't compare. We're talking about the greatest quarterback possibly of all time.
Not saying that Dak Prescott is Tom Brady, but Tom Brady does it with no receivers. It can be done with no receivers.
And that's what makes Belichick so good.
I mean, Jason Garrett, if Bill Belichick and Tom Brady can do it with no receivers, why can't Jason Garrett and Dak Prescott do it with no receivers?
If you were to give Dallas's team to Belichick and Brady,
yeah, they'd be pretty darn good. Because that's just what they do. Speaking of Brady, so it was a Houston versus Boston weekend.
it sure was.
And I'd say 1-1, right? Boston, New England won the football game. 27-20. It wasn't even really that close. They looked to be in control most of the game, really throughout. The Texans, I'm not hitting the panic button. It's a tough way to start the season, so no worries there. And then the Astros took 2 out of 3 out of Boston, and the game they lost was, they lost on a walk-off last night, and there was an iffy play earlier in the game that might have changed the tide.
Fenway was packed with Astros fans on
It's amazing
Friday.
how many Houston fans went up there for the double dip.
Yeah, and then that's what I'm saying. Was it because the
Scheduling?
Yeah, that's what it was, right?
I think
because
so.
otherwise, I don't know that it would be that packed with Astros
Yeah,
fans.
I have to believe that's what it was.
And I'm not gonna put too much stock into Astros taking 2 out of 3 from Boston because who knows if they'll even meet again. But I put more stock into the Patriots taking this one game from the Texans.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think they both say a lot about all 4 teams. I normally wouldn't say that about the Astros Red Sox, except for the fact that it's late in the season, and they very well could meet in the playoffs. I mean,
but are they playing for anything?
Were they playoffs?
No. This series, were they playing for anything?
They weren't playing for anything, but it did have a playoff type atmosphere. They were. If you watched any of those games, there were guys standing on the top step of the dugout throughout the game. I mean, it had a little more intensity than a regular early September series.
Yeah, see, I didn't look at it like that. But now the football game, being such a short season, and the chance that they might meet again.
And obviously now the Patriots would have a tiebreaker over the Texans if they were to both end up with, identical records. Especially if you're talking about the difference between being a 2 seed and being a 3 seed, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or 1 versus 2, and then they get to the conference finals. So to me, I thought it was a big weekend all the way around. I will tell you this: one of the things I really like about Houston sports teams, they're really close to each other. I don't know if you noticed this or saw the pictures. The Astros showed up to Boston wearing Texans jerseys. All of them wearing Texans jersey, and they did it. They did it during the basketball playoffs. They showed up somewhere wearing Rockets jerseys. I think that is super cool that they do that.
I didn't see that.
The kind of a unifying force for the city. It's one of the reasons to me that the Astros are such a likable team. They've just got a good squad all the way around.
God, they're looking scary again.
Yeah,
they really are. I mean, it looks like they're just they have recharged batteries now. That their home run celebrations in the dugout are pretty cool.
And Bregman is just
there we go. That's another name in the MVP talk.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that earlier, right?
I mean, you definitely have to put Bregman in there.
We threw out names for the American League MVP, and we threw out like 8 names.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
But we excluded Bregman.
Yeah, and they all have a decent shot, right? Like, so you got Betts and J.D. Martinez in Boston. I mean, J.D. Martinez is going for the Triple Crown. I mean, he's probably not going to get it, but he's going to be pretty darn close.
I think they take votes away from each other.
Right? And then you've got the duo in Cleveland, right? Lindor and Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
I think the same thing happens there where they kind of eat each other's votes a little bit. Chris Davis with the A's, you can't overlook him.
No.
Bregman with the Astros. I mean, that's 6 guys. It's just, man.
Who would you pick?
Well, I'd pick J.D. Martinez because that's who I picked at the beginning of this season. I don't. If J.D. Martinez pulls off the Triple Crown, you got to give it to him, right?
No, you don't have to.
Well, you don't have to. But if you're on the team with the most wins and you have the Triple Crown.
Yeah, but you're not on the. Yeah, but again, there's so many other factors in Boston having so many wins. He's not the only one.
Right, but
They have a pretty stacked squad.
yeah, they do. But
There's no but.
look, Betts is having a great season, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But Betts doesn't win the Triple Crown, and Martinez does. I mean.
Yeah.
You know,
I give it to Chris Davis.
I mean, Chris Davis is having a great season, but he's going to be 20 wins behind the Red Sox.
Yeah, without him, they don't make the wild card.
Well, without JD Martinez,
Sure
the Red
they
Sox
do.
maybe don't. I mean,
Bullshit. Yes, they still make the playoffs
maybe
without
not.
him.
Maybe not.
Yeah, they do.
He wins the Triple Crown.
Yeah, they do.
The protection he provides in the lineup. I mean,
I don't know.
you know, Bregman.
It would be between JD Martinez and Chris Davis for me. Between those two, you would have it would come down
Yeah,
to.
I mean, I agree with you. Chris Davis is having a monster year, and you know, I don't mean to poo-poo what he's done. Because
And if Mike Trout didn't get injured, he'd be in the conversation too.
well, no, if we're gonna put in if he didn't get injured, we got to put in my man,
Who's that?
the multifaceted
Who?
Ohtani, man. He'd have 15 wins and 30 home runs and
Dude,
100 RBIs.
They said the guy had like a torn UCL, comes back to back games and hits home runs. I don't understand. What?
Well, he doesn't. You don't need a UCL to hit. You need a UCL to pitch.
Just a pitch. Freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I think that alone lets you know that he's not human. If he stays healthy for a whole season, we could see something we probably never see before.
I think the Angels have a problem in that they're gonna have to pick one or the other with him. I don't think they're gonna want to continue to run the risk of having him pitch and play the field. So I believe next season, you know, they recommended Tommy John surgery, which means he could be out all of 2019.
Right.
If that's the case, I would guess that they will just convert him to a field player.
They're gonna have to because Trout might be gone.
God, if you're the Angels, you got to do whatever you can to keep him.
Yeah,
And then put some other pieces around
put some
him.
pieces around him.
It's a shame that guy hasn't seen the postseason. And you know what? In that division, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because the Astros are young, the A's are young, the Mariners are young. That's not. I mean, it's hard to get into the top three in the division, let alone make a playoff run.
How about the Mets playing spoiler in the National League? They took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers
Yeah.
earlier in the week, and then
2 out of 3 from the Phillies.
that's awesome.
Well,
That's great. At least they're good for something.
You heard it here first. Weeks and weeks and weeks ago, the Phillies are going to fade. And, you know, look, they're still going to have a great year for what they are. And the future looks very bright for that team. They've got a good young pitching staff. They've got a lot of good players. You know, things look good for them. This year might have been too soon, but I would pencil them towards the top of the playoff hunt next year.
They really chose to fade at the wrong time because the Braves aren't playing that good of baseball either. They're losing games,
right?
And they got a tougher schedule. That's why I'm thinking the Phillies will be in it for the division come the final weekend of the season.
I mean, what are they? Isn't
4.5?
It's 4.5. There's
yeah.
only 20 games left.
That's plenty. Trust me, as a Met fan, anything is
No,
possible.
I understand it's possible, but
17-7,
yeah. I mean, no, I get it, but you know, if there were 5 games left, it'd be possible, but
I'm
it's
saying
not likely, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's. I wouldn't make it seem like it's like totally out the window.
Dude, if the Astros, if the Braves just managed to go 10-10,
well, they got a tough schedule and they've been
the
playing.
Phillies
like crap.
got to win 14 out of 20, which is 14 out of 20 is it's a pretty decent run,
Yeah.
and that's the tie.
Right. Well.
So I personally think the Phillies are done, and quite frankly, I thought they were going to fade. And I'm not surprised at all. The Cubs really look like they're coming on strong, and the West looks like
a mess.
A mess.
It's the Rockies on top.
Yeah. Well, the D-backs had a tough stretch, and man, for all the moves the Dodgers made, that bullpen, and Jansen can't travel. I mean,
I told you their pitching was
problem.
Their pitching was the issue for me.
They had, I mean, I guess they thought they were going to out-hit their way out of everything.
Possibly. Hasn't quite worked out that way.
Has not quite worked out that way. They have not hit as well as they would have liked.
I mean, the National League hasn't really changed that. I mean, all of baseball really hasn't changed as far as like standings and wild card. I mean, it's still Milwaukee and St. Louis.
Milwaukee and St. Louis hanging tough.
I mean, yeah. Other than that, everything's the same.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's just kind of beating on each other at this point. The West would be fun because they play each other quite a bit.
That's right.
We'll see. We'll see.
What else you got?
Did you? I was gonna save this for later, but
okay.
Did you happen to watch the women's final at the U.S. Open?
No.
I'm sure you've read about it and seen clips of the whole Serena Williams
thing. Too much about it.
Well, no. Look, I think it's a fascinating. It's a fascinating topic. There's so many layers to this thing, right? Some of these layers have been brought out by Serena's comments, but even without her comments about the way men get treated and whatnot, just what happened, it was just amazing. And it's the part that is really disheartening to me is this poor Osaka girl just won her first major, and she's getting almost zero credit.
Yeah.
And I blame Serena for two reasons. One, she took an interpretation of the rule by the umpire as a personal insult. Mm-hmm. So for people that don't know, Serena's coach in the stands made some kind of gesture with his hands.
Right.
Serena didn't see it, but you're not allowed to coach. The coaches, every tennis player has a coach there in their box. They're not allowed to coach. And let me just tell you, every coach coaches, right? So it's one of these stupid rules. They've got all kinds of signals. It's no different than the third base coach giving the signals to a batter. I mean, it's not that blatant, but there's a lot of it that goes on. It goes on in every single match, men, women, it doesn't matter. Doubles, it doesn't matter. So the chair umpire gives Serena a warning for coaching, which that's who he has to give the warning to. He can't give it to the coach. He has to give it to the tennis player. That's just the way it works, right?
I wonder why, especially since she didn't see it.
Right. But
Can't you just give it to the coach and, I mean, the second warning will result him,
being ejected, right?
Stands?
Well, maybe. I don't know. But the problem is, Serena took that as an implication that she was cheating. Mm-hmm. The rule is not that you received coaching. The rule is you cannot coach. And the warning goes to the player,
right,
not the coach. The rules in tennis don't even acknowledge that there is a coach around. They don't acknowledge fans. They don't acknowledge anything. The rules are specifically directed to the players and the chair umpire. So the chair umpire, per the rules, has no one to give this warning to but Serena Williams. It doesn't matter who does it outside, right? So she took that as a personal affront that he was accusing her of cheating. And of course, that's not what he did. He gave a warning for coaching. And she just came unraveled. and she just wouldn't stop. What's funny is a lot of people only see the clips when the score was 5-4. This started at 2-3. So it started much earlier in the second set. And Serena, obviously she went and she argued the warning. Okay, fine. Then she lost her serve because she was up a break. She lost her serve. When she lost the point, she got pissed off, slammed her racket down, and broke it. You break your racket, it's another warning and a point.
They take away a point?
They give They give the opposing player a point. And that was at the end of a game, right? So now it's 3-3, I believe. And they start the next point
1-0.
15-love, right?
Okay.
Tennis
Good.
does the funky scoring, right? So again, Serena starts mouthing off. She loses that game, and now she proceeds to again get into it with the chair umpire. And because now she's gone off the rails now. And she gets to the point where she starts to demand an apology. And at this point, she's no longer arguing that you treated me unfairly, you applied the rule wrong,
Right.
or whatever.
Now she's taking it personal.
Now she's getting personal with him.
Yeah.
Right? She demands an apology. At one point, the chair umpire says, I'm not going to apologize. And then she gets high and mighty with him and says, well, then don't talk to me. Just don't talk to me. Right? And then, she takes it one step. Again, she can't stop. She takes it one step. So there's a few moments of silence on the changeover. Mm-hmm. And before she gets up, she calls him a thief. Mm-hmm. You stole that point from me. You're a thief. That's what you are. You're a thief, she says. The rules are perfectly clear that if you start to speak that way, if you start to name call an official, an opponent, it's another violation, and it cost her the game. So now it's 5-4.
So it cost her
a game.
A game?
Right. So now it's 5-4. And now Osaka gets to serve for the set, and of course she goes on to win. The guy applied the rules. I mean, he followed the rules. And in fact, I almost dare to say that on the third one, he was fed up. And rightfully so. He was fed up because she would not let it go. The minute she crossed the line and called him a name, bam. He was ready. He had his finger on the trigger. He was just waiting. And I understand it's a big match, but he let it go. We see this a lot in in the NBA, in hockey, and overtime. Referees swallow the whistle, right? This guy swallowed the whistle for quite a while. She went on, and she would not let it go.
Now, why do baseball players get to break their bats across their thighs, and then the tennis players can't break their racket?
Well,
what's the difference between Joe Girardi or Brett Boone going toe to toe with the referee,
with the umpires,
with the umpires, and in tennis you can't do it?
Yeah, look, I don't make that comparison. It's a different sport. They're different rules. It's a different game. Tennis chooses to have these rules. That's fine. Where I do have a problem, and Serena's right about this, and there was an instance earlier in the tournament that highlighted this as well. Serena's comments were, men say a lot worse on a tennis court than I just said, and they don't get a warning, they don't get a deduction, nothing happens to them. Right? And she's right about that, and that's unfortunate. But the fact of the matter is, she went, look, the guy applied the rules. Whether, some umpires have a wider strike zone or a smaller one, I don't know. But he applied the rules correctly. And do they need to revisit the coaching rule? I think they do. Do they need to revisit the broken racket thing? Yeah. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is. And do they need to maybe teach umpires to treat men, women, doubles the same? Juniors, all the same? Yeah, probably. Earlier in the tournament, there was a similar, what do you mean I can't do this? I can't do this because I'm a woman? Type of situation where a gal went in between sets. She went into the locker room to get a new shirt because it was, incredibly hot and she was all sweaty. So she went and got a new shirt. She put it on backwards. So she was uncomfortable. So she went to the chair where she normally sits in between games. She took the shirt off. I mean, she wasn't naked. She took the shirt off. She had a sports bra underneath, I guess. And turned around and put it on. And she got a warning for undressing. Because And guys change shirts at the chair all the time. In fact, there's a picture of during I think it was a quarterfinal match, Novak Djokovic sitting there with his with his arms out, just kind of airing himself out with no shirt on. And he didn't get a warning.
Right.
And so it's just, I think there is a little bit of a double standard between men and women. But Serena pushed it too far.
Did she? I mean, I don't know. I'm fine with what she did. I mean, she spoke her mind, and she has the right to feel. I mean, if what you're saying, I mean, obviously I believe what you're saying is true, but if what you're saying is true, then, then she has every right to be pissed off, and why can't she do as the men do?
Yeah, my only argument to that is every umpire is different. Every umpire is different. And the fact of the matter is that the umpire in this case applied the rules. Now, was he maybe unfair, and did he apply the rules evenly? Osaka didn't argue at all during the match, so we don't know that part of it. But with the coaching, I would say no, because I'm sure that her coach did coaching as well. They've got all kinds of signals and stuff, little mantras that they repeat Now, I don't understand the coaching rule they need to get rid of.
Did the coaching signs come while the play was going on? Was she getting ready to serve? When did the coaching sign come?
In between a point, he made some hand gesture, and he did it twice. Okay. And he admitted that it was coaching.
Okay.
But they need to get rid of the coaching thing, because here's the thing. All of the coaches coach. So either admonish every single one, which means you need another umpire to just sit there and stare at the coaches, because they do all kinds of signals back and forth to the players to remind them about X, Y, or Z. Or just get rid of the coaching thing. Don't let them come on the court, but let them do all the hand gestures and signals they want. They've got a clock.
Right.
They've got a service clock, right? They can't take more than 30 seconds to serve. So if you're worried about slowing down the game, that's not a problem, because you've got the clock. So let them look at all the hand signals they want, and then serve. So long as they do it within 30 seconds, who cares?
So they won't be able to change shoes. Nothing on the sideline.
It's just nuts. It's nuts. And then the broken racket thing.
Yeah.
If you break a racket, who are you hurting?
Nobody.
That's
your racket.
That's your $100 down the tube, right?
Serena's like, I got money to buy 100 more rackets.
Oh, she does. She does. Now, I have been critical of Serena here as far as her outburst. I will say the exact opposite in the awards ceremony afterwards. She showed her leadership. She showed her composure. The fans, for some reason, started booing at the beginning of the awards presentation. I have no idea why. And Serena, they asked her about the umpire situation. She refused to answer the questions there. She did not want to take away from the moment from Osaka, which I thought was a very classy thing for her to do. She even told the fans, please stop booing. Let's not boo. Let's celebrate this moment for Osaka. So, as childish as she was during the match, she was an absolute professional and an absolute leader in the awards.
Well, because she knows, it was Osaka's time to shine, and it was her moment. Why take that away from her? You already put on an act during the match.
Even after the match, she congratulates Osaka. Osaka shakes the umpire's hand, and Serena doesn't. She just yells to him, "You owe me an apology."
Damn.
You gotta let it go. Look, sometimes it's time to move on. And look, it's really unfortunate too, because Osaka played a magnificent first set, and she played really well in the second set. Just because Serena broke down, it's not really her fault.
So it's probably safe to say we won't see that referee ref in one of Serena's games anymore.
No, I don't think he will referee anymore.
Or she won't let it happen.
No, I mean they have a ban list. Like every player has a list. They can say, I don't want these 3 refs or whatever.
As what's the right word I'm looking for? Technology. As much technology as there is now, why the hell does tennis need a referee anyway? Seriously, why? I mean, we could say that about baseball too, right? But tennis, I mean, why?
I mean, pretty soon you can say it about every sport, really.
Yeah, but...
Well, there's still judgment. In the NFL, there's judgment calls, and in basketball,
not in
there's
tennis.
judgment.
It's either out or in. It's either a foot violation or not.
Right. You served within the 30 seconds. Yeah, there is no judgment in tennis.
That's right.
Let's get rid of them.
Fuck it.
We're about to get you guys out of a job. We're about to be a bunch of unemployed tennis umpires. Yeah, with technology today, certainly the big tournaments, you would think they've got the cam, right? The line cam.
Yeah.
Everyone gets all excited whenever there's a challenge. They start clapping
just to see the.
Yeah, and then they all ooh and ah when it's a really close one.
Ooh.
When they have to zoom in extra close, you hear the fans go, "Oh."
The camera guy's probably like, "Oh, shut up! You know you guys seen that from far away."
It's just out, for crying out loud. It's just not that big a deal. Anyway, that's enough about tennis. My Serena rant.
So what's up, man? You want to wrap this puppy up?
Yeah, sure.
Ready?
You got a shout out?
Let's see. Shout out time. I shouted this guy out months ago, but I think it's only fitting that I shout him out again, along with someone else.
Okay.
So I'm gonna shout out.
I'm interested now.
I'm going. They came in the league together. They got rookie of the years together. My shout out goes to Jason Kidd and Grant Hill. Jason Kidd, obviously, we know what he did. His resume. He lived to tell the story. He lived to play in 2 NBA finals, and he won 1. He lived to tell it. Grant Hill, on the other end, did not live to tell it. Unfortunately, he was plagued by injuries. His career...
I thought you were going to say he's dead.
No. Is that how I made it sound?
Well, he lived to tell it.
Well, he didn't... Well, yeah. Well, whatever. He was injured throughout most of his NBA career, and I think that he could have been one of the greatest. He pretty much started the trend of big men like Ben Simmons handling the rock. I mean, he not only put up points, he rebounded and he assisted very well. And you can say the same thing for Anthony Hardaway too, right? So what could have been of Grant Hill, we'll never know, but we do know that he is today a Hall of Famer, and I thought that it was pretty cool that both Grant Hill and Jason Kidd went in together. So my shout out goes to those two.
Excellent choice. My shout out goes out to the U.S. Open champions, Novak Djokovic for the men, and who won his 14th Grand Slam title. Ties him with Pete Sampras, or makes him one ahead of Pete Sampras. Only Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal have more. 14 Grand Slam titles is quite a feat. 2 this year for him, so he is having a fantastic year and a bit of a resurgence. He had a down year last year, and he is certainly making a comeback. And the other one goes to Osaka. My heart goes out to her. Admittedly, this is as much I want to give her something else, because I feel like she got kind of robbed on the U.S. Open title. She barely cracked a smile during the award ceremony. I felt really bad for her. And it's really a shame because, like I said, she played a fantastic match against Serena. And really, she played a fantastic 2 weeks of tennis. Her first Grand Slam title, and I'm willing to bet not her last. I mean, she is a very good tennis player. She's young. I think we can expect a lot of good things from her in the years to come. And her story is kind of neat. She sat up in the rafters, in the cheap seats at Arthur Ashe Stadium, watching Grand Slam tennis, wishing she could be on the court playing in a final against her idol Serena and winning a championship. And she actually fulfilled that dream, albeit it's a little cloudy now with all of the drama behind it. But man, hats off to her. And I thought her composure afterwards, it was pretty upsetting to her. You can tell the booing and stuff was obviously upsetting. But she managed to be classy about it, and to me it's the first of many. I think she's an awesome star for women's tennis going forward, and I can't wait to see her perform again. And hopefully the next time she wins, they cheer instead of boo.
I hope they play again and square it out.
Yeah,
I want to see, without any point deductions.
Quite honestly, I want to see him play again.
Yes.
I want to see him play in a final.
Yeah.
And I love Serena, but I want Osaka to win. I want her to get that moment, right, where she gets to play her idol and win the championship and get the trophy amidst all of the celebration that she truly deserves that she didn't get on Sunday.
I wouldn't care who won. I just want to see them fight. Not fight. I want to see them. Well, that'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah, well.
No, I want to see them face off in a match and not tennis match.
Yeah, and look, my hat's off to Serena Williams as well. In spite of her antics on Saturday in the final, here's a woman who had a baby a year ago, and she's playing in a Grand Slam final. And she's just, I feel like Serena Williams doesn't get enough credit. I think she, in my opinion, she is the best tennis player ever. And I put her up there against the men as well. Mm. I think she's just one of the very best.
Slow down.
No, I mean, she's not going to beat him, but as far as accomplishments in her sport, I'd put her up against Federer and Nadal and Sampras and all those guys. I mean, she's just, she's fantastic. And she really deserves more accolades than I think she gets. So, that's that.
Good deal. You
got anything else you want to get off your chest, or can we call it done?
No, that's it, man. Number 36.
In the
podcast
books.
Number 36.
Famous number 36.
I'm proud to say that I thought about this long and hard, and I was like, man, I really want to look it up, but I didn't look it up.
You looked it up.
No, I did not.
I can tell you.
Number 36.
I just came up with one just popped into my head because I had not thought of it.
Does he drive a yellow bus?
Yes, he does. Jerome Bettis.
He's the only 36.
He's the only 36 I can think of. I love that guy, even if he did play for the Steelers. I loved him, man. He always had a smile on his face.
Yeah, he was awesome.
And he was a bulldozer of a guy.
He was awesome.
Yeah. So, episode 36, the Jerome Bettis episode. We can call it the Jerome Bettis episode. I don't know of any other 36s. I hope we're not missing a very obvious one. But with that, we've come to the end of another fantastic episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. You can catch us on YouTube, previous episodes, iTunes, Podbean, Google Play. If you want to get a hold of the show, you can do so at positivesports10@gmail.com. Positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of this guy.
Don't be a leader, be a follower on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho.
And if you want to get a hold of me, you can reach me on Twitter as well at eMontana21. And with that, we've come to the end of another wonderful episode. Thank you very much, folks. We appreciate the love and support from everyone. And as always, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.